Okay, let me start. So once again, it's a great pleasure to be here again in Java today. So I guess we have made almost a decade together. So first time I was just yes, hello. This time I was just a listener, an attendee there at Java Today's, and now for several years I am back as a developer. So I see the chat is reacting. So we are online and we are okay. So once again, it's great to be here again, and it's great to present about my new project, Helidon, I'm working on. So my name is, let me see, my name is Dimitri. I'm now working for Oracle as a software developer, and I'm working for the project I'm going to tell you about in just a few minutes. So as a developer at Oracle, I have to present this slide since we got a very, very earnest legal services there. So everything I'm telling you may not be true, but I'm quite honest. So I really have to display this slide. Okay, so what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about Helidon, how it lives with Microprofile, what are the internal stuff that is exposed to you to make you even more powerful, and there are some surprises and Q&A at the end. So let's just go ahead. So Project Helidon. Helidon, we call it a set of libraries for developing microservices. So it's not exactly a micro framework because it does not fit into the idea of micro framework, which is only to support microservices. It's more than that. So that's why we call a set of libraries for that. It's not exactly we call it even microprofile based framework because we are heavily standardized in terms of microservices at this point, at microprofile actually at this point, and but it's not exactly a micro framework. So in Helidon, in Greek means smaller. Well, it's a wonderful small bird which is so fast and maneuverable, and it's really just the way they live in flocks describes you like microservices cooperate with each other. So I really like the semantics behind this word. So it's really great explanation. And the most unexpected thing about Oracle and about this framework is absolutely Apache 2.0 open source. So you can just use it, contribute, and see the code. So actually the code is yours. So you can improve everything you can and help us improve because we're doing it every day for you. As I said, small, fast, and easy to use, built on top of the world's best technologies like NetT. Actually, that's why it's so fast and asynchronous, because built on top of NetT. And once again, it's cloud native ready. What does that actually mean? That means that it's designed to run in cloud. So you not only get some REST endpoints, etc., you get all the information you need, like health metrics, tracing, and everything you get from Microprofile to make it really cloud native for you. And moreover than that, it's GraalVM native image already. That means that we do everything to support the most modern Graal native image and build you really fastest possible and smallest possible applications ever. I'll try to be honest right now. I'll just push everything as what you really need to know about this framework, what you actually get. So what you get is that we are uncompromisably ready for the new technology. That means that Helidon is Java 11 plus with no compromises, no Java 8 stuff or whatever. So Java 8 is wonderful. It's amazing, but it's already some, let's say, in the past. So please use newest Java, and we are here to use the newest Java. And as a result, so the typical application written in Helidon is really small. You see, there's not only JVM and native image here. You always have this J-link. That means that we're utilizing the ideas of modularity, which came us with Java post 9 versions. That means you can build really small images. So once again, the smallest is with native image. So we usually consume about 28 megs for running SE version and an MP version and a little bit bigger, but I'll talk about it later. And with J-Link, you got it a little bit bigger, but then you get a pure Java and pure JDK build it for you. And JVM is the biggest one, but you still have there the biggest Java and the typical Java, I would say the traditional Java for us. The start times are just impressive. They're fractions of a second, so it's for native image is expectedly really small time. For JVM it's a little bit bigger, but still under a second in some points. And the disk footprint is really small. Once again, it's only several megs, I would say. Of course, for J-Link is bigger because then you actually package all of your JDK there. And native image, you also have it, but it's compiled ahead of time to native image, so it's really small. As for the JVM, you see the smallest spot, you actually compile the deliverables and you have an assumption that you've got the JVM for you here. So it's really small, this is what you get. But how did we actually get there? So it all started with in 2015, where we got this project airport at Oracle, just a platform to run microservices, which was in future renamed to Project Prime, which now is split into several teams, one in Czech Republic and the other one is US. And it actually get formed by the impressions, I'll be quite honest about Spring, that we now have microkernel to run everything, and we got several modules to support the infrastructure that we have, which was then transformed to Project J2C, which actually now, in a year after, actually became the foundation of Helidon SE, which is a set of libraries that we are using to write microservices right now. Finally renamed to Helidon, as we use now. It started supporting Microprofile, and in 2018 it was open sourced and moved to GitHub. So at this year we had the final first presentation, so it was very productized. It took some time to finish it and make it absolutely production ready, and there was a lot of efforts done in 2019, just a year ago, to make everything supporting GraalVM native image. So, and as a result, we really got our first customers, both internal and external. And now as this 2020, in the beginning of the year, we have released version 2.0, which was exactly the Helidon, which we are using right now. And it is now absolutely feature complete and has commercial support, so it is a product. So this is something not experimental, this is something you can really use in your production. And once again, we are, me as my colleagues are working to make it even more microprofile compatible. So we are supporting different specifications, which are not exactly even part of Microprofile yet, so they're kind of external to it. So this is long-running action GraphQL. So we worked on this, and it really is one of the most stable and performant framework that is actually on the market. And once again, so we are working hard on this thing, and it will be nice if you have any issues with running Oracle Helidon to give us ideas and hints how to solve them. So it's, once again, it's open source. We are open source here. And what are we going to talk about, actually? So the overall architecture of Helidon is like this. So we got the Netty, which is actually like the lowest level, carrying for everything about networking and delivering the data over the network. Then there is a very thin layer, like Helidon Reactive APIs, or Helidon SE, we call it. And then actually the product, which is like Helidon Microprofile, Helidon MP. And let us get more acquainted with both of them. So what is Helidon MP? So as we said, we are microprofile based framework. And what is actually microprofile? I believe about 2 years ago, together with Ivan from Bulgarian Java User Group, we did some very nice workshops about what is microprofile and how to apply microprofile on Java 2 days. Hopefully some of them were there. So if you were there on that workshop, please write something in the chat. I'll be quite happy to hear about it. So yes, it's an open source community specifications for enterprise Java microservices. So it's a special specification. I'm sorry to say special specification, but it's designed to be exactly for microservices. So it's now hosted under Eclipse Foundation, and it has a lot of participants like Oracle, IBM, Red Hat, Payara, Tommy Tribe, and even Microsoft is there. So we get 4 releases per year. So every quarter year we have a release. And now I guess we are approaching the release of version 4, which will come next year. So microprofile, once again, it's a set of specifications. It's not their implementation, but it's a specification. So whatever you need to know about microprofile, just visit the microprofile.io site. And actually, what do we have right now is that like the base thing is 12 specifications designed especially for microservices, although just several years ago, it started out of only 3 of them. But now there are 12, and we are supporting like everything you need to run in the clouds, like open tracing, like REST client, like configuration, fault tolerance, and the most important part, CDI, just to manage everything, and JSON P and B specifications like JustRest to serve you, since serve you the data, since like actually JSON and this is the most important way of serializing your data for which is provided by microservices. So we are now at version 3.3. Now, what actually Helidon does support out of the box is all of that configurations, all of that specifications. So as you see, there's microprofile, tracing, health checks, and messaging. And moreover, so we just took the ready specifications from Jakarta, like Jakarta CDI, binding, WebSockets, and persistence, as well as transactions annotations. This is what you will get directly when you run Helidon MP. And more than that, because we have a lot of requests from our customers, there's already out-of-the-box supports, of course, cross-origin requests, and gRPC, because it's now heavily used as in the industry. So as you see, I'll be quick here. So we got microprofile configuration, which is like standard configuration run over your code. As I say microprofile, it means I'm always talking about portability. That means whenever you write your configuration, for example, it will be portable across every platform which supports it. So it can be ported to Tommy Tribe, it can be ported to Quarkus if you use it. So we do support this out of the box. We got the health checks to see whether it's up and down, so all according to specifications. Out of the box, we deliver metrics and telemetry information, so you can run your own metrics or receive them the out of the box ones. I'll demonstrate a little bit later. Definitely, there are some scopes there, like base vendor and application specific, so we do support them according to the specifications. As you know, so one request across many microservices. So out of the box, we do support the tracing, so we don't need to enable it additionally. So we can use Zipkin or Jaeger if you like for that. So just use it. Definitely, since microservices are an example of a distributed system, you got the fault tolerance there. So you got fallback, circuit breakers, everything according to your microprofile specifications. Just wherever you have a microprofile, we do support it. And of course, we can not only consume the service, not only serve the data, but we also consume the services. So we get our own REST clients. And of course, we do have an open API description. That means that we can document in a nice way all our services. But talking is cheap. Show me the code. How can I actually start coding and with Helidon? So the easiest way for many of us is just to go to Microprofile starter page and well, just choose your microprofile version, choose the Helidon, and we're done. So we got a POM file, which you can open in your mostly used IDE. But we are more than people, and Helidon does everything to support the best way for you to code and to ease the code, and not only for Java developers. So we got so-called Helidon CLI. So let me just open it. So yes, you see, it's an app. You can just download it and use it. What is the wonderful thing about it, by the way, here, I can say that we have an amazing documentation. So we got very, very nice description about everything. Like, for example, gRPC, how can you use it? What are the services available with all the necessary descriptions? What are, for example, the health checks? How do you enable them? How to use it? And so we are very proud out of this thing because spend a lot of time for doing this for you and for you to be able to read it. So once again, as I told you, we have a CLI. So what we can do with CLI, so we want to start a new project. So we type like Helidon init. Oh wow, that's usual typical failure I do. Helidon init. You see, we got two flavors, so we'll use the second flavor for now. I'll come to it at a moment. And we can do a quick starter application. So we just have to answer a few questions or just type enter, and we are almost done. As you see, the application's asking us to start a development loop. We will say no for now, but it will come later for it. So what we have, I hope you can read my screen correctly. We have a folder, and if we go inside of this folder, or actually just see what's inside, we'll see it's like quite a normal application with several Java files and one POM file as a sample application. So we will go inside and open our favorite IDE. I think that my choice for IDE is the most typical one. Let it just load because it's still Java, so it needs some time to load. I hope you can read everything. Whenever you need to zoom a little bit, I will do this for you. Just type me in the chat, please. So now it's consuming, this live streaming consumes a lot of resources, so it's quite a little bit have from the application. Just give it a little bit more second, yes, because even my Mac is quite fast, but every time I get this WebRTC, it just consumes a lot of resources. That's why it's slow. Wait a minute. I think it's like yes. Wait a minute. I'll open it again. It's the newest build of not a good idea to update your idea. Yes, now it's starting much more faster. So what we have now is that we have some really typical code for microprofile. So we got a greeting service. So we got a get, put with some API request responses, and we got the description of our endpoint, which is so much typical, and we have some greeting provider file which is just injected there. So how can we actually start it? So the good part of it is that Helidon can build it for you. Helidon can build it for you. We can just type in Helidon Build. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? Builds. Yes. Yes. Actually, Maven with all the dependency, and it will just initialize the Maven build process. So what's amazing about it, that Helidon allows you to move out of absolutely different ecosystems. For example, you're coding in Node or any other other products, and as you see, we can just build everything without the need to know what is Maven, what is the infrastructure, etc., etc. So the starting time is, or entering time for Helidon is very nice, even out of Java Java ecosystem. So I'll make so it will just generate as a jar file. So once again, we are highly influenced from Spring because Spring is everything now. Wait a minute, so it's not Helidon, it's Quick Start. And yes, it's just a jar, which starts so fast. Yes, once again, not so fast because we got this WebRTC client. And then we will just try to run some examples which you receive out of the box directly from the README file, which was generated for us. So we'll just see, is it working? Yes, yes, it does work. So you can just run it and see. But that's not all. So if you go back just to running Java applications, we can switch to Helidon developer mode. So Helidon F. What it will do is just start looking out for any changes in your file and rebuild everything from everything you change. So for example, it's not only for Java files, but even for sources. If we change some configurations, like here we say Java 2 days, and type S, so you see it will reload everything for us. Yes, you see it did smell that there is some change in our code. It did reload. Once again, happens a little bit slow because just of my Mac. Yes, it did rebuild everything. And now if you go to the same link or just type in the same stuff, we get hello Java today's world. Yes. So once again, Helidon does provide not only a good, way to integrate to your environment, but it also does provide you all the necessary tooling for you to start coding immediately from directly from those applications. By the way, out of the box you have health checks. So yes, we see that it's up and running, and this have all the information, like how much space do you have. Well, you can see all of my information, how I almost have no memory in my machine left. A lot of photos I'm doing recently. And we have metrics. It comes out of the box in this very strange Prometheus format, but you still do have them and you can use it. It's all coming to you out of the box. Let us stop this thing, not to use our ports anymore. So once again, let me switch to where we were, and let's continue. But once again, Helidon is not just a regular set of regular framework. We have decided to give you, the user of our application, not only the beautiful facade of everything, also said, but if you don't want to have this microprofile stuff and make everything standard, you can use the internal APIs as well. We will not close it from you. And that's why, as a result, we have this project called Helidon SE, which will in the future become Helidon Reactive APIs. It actually stands inside, actually realizes or actually implements all of the microprofile stuff, but it does it without any magic happening there. So it's a very, very pure Java. So if Helidon MP is like microprofile plus some Java components, Helidon SE is nothing but reactive, non-blocking micro framework written in Java. No magic there, almost no annotations except override, I guess. If Helidon MP is fast, Helidon SE is even more fast. It's extremely fast. And once again, Helidon MP, as you already saw, has a very small footprint. Then Helidon SE is really tiny. And once again, Helidon MP is just a bunch of annotations and you're running your code. As for SE, it's a little bit different because you just write pure Java there, which is kind of amazing. So instead of putting annotations, you just write everything in a very intuitive builder patterns, actually, which is the most used pattern that we have in our project via just a regular Java with all the support from your IDE. You just really got it and it's running. The biggest part is that you have the full control here. So that means that it's very debuggable. It's very easy to read because it's just a pure Java. And as I told you, so what are we doing? So we are writing our components, like as you saw, the implementations of the specifications like metrics, configs, tracing, calls, etc. We write them in pure Java first, and then we actually wrap it with MP and just deliver it to you like microprofile stuff. So, and instead of that, we have some things that are not part of microprofile standard, and this makes it very powerful because we deliver reactive streams, messaging. We have our own DB client, which is, by the way, a masterpiece because it allows you to run non-blocking in a non-blocking way all your database calls. Yes, and that means even if your driver, JDBC driver, is blocking, we have written it that it runs in a separate executor all the time, so it will be presented to you as reactive and a non-blocking stuff. And once again, from the beginning, you get all necessary to run in clouds like metrics, tracing, health checks, and etc. And once again, you can configure it via the standard ways like configs that you get, like Helidon config and microprofile config. Actually, you can configure it in that way. Once again, the really part that we are proud of is the reactive non-blocking HTTP client, one of a kind, I guess, which is also done to implement, to deliver you a higher level functionality for microprofile, but you can use it directly in a reactive and non-blocking way. So as I say, we are all made non-blocking. So that's why the web client is also non-blocking. And reactive and streaming is also a cool part because we now have our own implementation of reactive streams. Like so, we are just using the interfaces coming from Java 9+, but we are still able to connect to existing implementations. So we can use existing implementations like Reactor or RX Java. But once again, we don't want to make it because we have our own, and they are extremely fast. So they already support JMS and Oracle Advanced Queuing out of the box. As I say, extremely fast. If you take a look at this graph, there's another competitor, which is like small, right? And we outperform it twice. So the bigger the scale, actually, the bigger the scale, the better results. So as you can see from now, we are twice as fast. So Helidon is just amazing, and you can use it. So let us see how it is in the part of SE. So how can you start coding with SE? Once again, we are now in Quick Start MP. We'll get out of it and create, once again, with our Helidon application. We will make a new project in it. And now we will choose the flavor, which is SE. We will do the quick start. We'll call it like answer default questions with yes, and then we will start the development loop. And actually not at this point. Yes, we are fast. So let us see what it did to us. Quick start SE. You see even less code. Yes, just few Java classes and we are almost ready to go. So let us see how it is in our favorite IDE. So we will enter the folder and we will type idea dot. A little bit waiting. I hope it will be like a new window. We'll use the new window right now. Let us give it some time, not too much time. But once again, I'm really sorry. Although I'm using one of the latest Macs, but this WebRTC really reads all of my resources. So what do we have here? As you see, only the service which actually implements the service, which comes, you only need to implement one service, which is coming from the SE. It's only pure Java code, nothing special. And then we only have a main file, which actually does start the service, the server, and you just build your server in a regular way with builder patterns. By the way, what's cool about it is that unlike the other frameworks or everything, you have annotations. Most of the API is available to you by just putting the dot sign, so we can just add functionality in a regular way. So it's very, very intuitive. And you see, nothing special. Just we are also registering the metrics and health, and you see it's extremely fast to build. So we got this. I will even not just build it, but I will directly start Helidon dev. Helidon dev. And it should build it in fractions of a second. Actually, well, once again, if I'm not running on, not presenting to you at this point, it will usually start me less than a second. So, functionality. So if we get curl just out of the README file, which you get for free when you generate your project, and run it. Yes, you got hello world. The same way you can change something in the resources, like I would make it fast J2D. It will, yes, it did understand that we changed something, and if we run it, yes, it will just change the message. And once again, if we run the health, okay, yes, it will give us exactly the same stuff, although it's written only in Java, pure Java with no magic. So fast and easy to use. Okay, I will close this thing not to get the ports. Yes, hopefully it's finished right now. And let us go back to the presentation. So once again, just download the app and start it and use it, and to see how easy it is to start everything and everything. Why should we use Helidon MP? Why should we use Helidon SE? So if you need a portable code, if you need something which is like comfortable to use Helidon MP. If you have some special tasks you have need performance, or you have some mission critical stuff which needs a lot of very small response time and everything, You can use SE, which is pure Java, very nicely debuggable. But just remember, with great power comes great responsibility. So use it with care. Although the API is very safe, I would say, because it's built with builder partners, so we are completely null-free, I would say. That's why we were easily ported to Kotlin. By the way, I'm now preparing a big set of Kotlin examples, which we're doing together with JetBrains for you, and there will be a separate presentation about it. So what does user actually get? Once again, for build profiles, we get a hollow jar. All the third-party dependency are stored separately, because then we can use Docker layering for that, because we just built our part and Docker layer with the dependencies stored. What everything I said is GraalVM native image compatible. So I won't do this because it will take a bunch of time to compile both MP and SE samples. You just make a Maven profile native image, and you're there. I mean, you have a application which is native image ready. Everything is native image compatible. The footprints are very small, as you see, just megabytes. Once again, if you need a full example covering almost everything we have in Helidon, please have a look at this Helidon socks shop. It's like a pet clinic, but pet clinic is like for everything. So we have our own socks shop. It will give you a demonstration of everything we have about Helidon. But not to run out of time, everything changes so fast. And very, I would say this Saturday, we have released version 2.2. I would say big applause is now in the hall, I think, if it was like this, if we were for real. But everything changes so fast, and we did release it. So what will you have as a result? So we have big integration with Project Clone. So that means that we will utilize the newest stuff like virtual threads, which is like a game changer in the industry. It will provide us almost extremely new magnitudes of performance that we had right now. Once again, Microsoft Microprofile GraphQL Support. We now have it. It's production ready. Use it. Then, as you probably know, Micronaut is now part of actually Graham Rochelle, which is the creator of Micronaut, is now part of Oracle, so is working in the Oracle labs. So we decided to make an integration between his modules and our Helidon. So now Helidon does support all the modules. We'll come to it later. And we have written multiple JDBC drivers to support native image. So now, which is good, all the drivers for JP Hibernate do support native images, so we are fast and we are native image ready. Let us take a look about some integrations. So once again, Helidon Micronaut integrations allow us to use Micronaut beans and modules inside of CDI. So I would just say a few words that why Helidon is so good. We are supporting full CDI. That means unlike different other products which have limited support of CDI. We have CDI, which is completely full in his version, and we made it completely native image ready. So that gives us like enormous power. So we can use Micronaut inside of this CDI environment, like normal beans, which is like amazing. Yes, I sorry, I don't have feedback, but I believe that's people who know it. It's like big applause should be here. So it's a tremendous job done by my colleagues here. And how can we use Micronaut models? Because there are a lot of them there. It's very much integrated in the world. So we just add our dependencies like integrations. We just add some Micronaut dependencies, which are regular Micronaut dependencies, and Micronaut plugin, because Micronaut, unlike the other frameworks, does everything on compile time. And we're done. Let us take a look at the demo. I think that I got it ready. So IntelliJ IDEA. I will now open a project, so I'll just take the real code actually, which is, just give me a second, which is actually the real code we have from the repository. I don't cheat. I just provide you what we have. So we'll run some example. So it's like integrations. So you can play it with under integrations. Micronaut data. So we just open a separate console for us. What we have here, it's just, we are using here the data actually. You'll be surprised, but like you see, in our Helidon code, we use Micronaut data repo here. Yes, you see, just a regular data repo, just to run our, well, there's a pet stuff here. Of course, there's a pet stuff here. And if we just Java, I won't compile it because we have no time for that, but I can definitely answer all your questions about that integrations, maybe in chat and maybe in Twitter. But if we run it, you see it's weld. So we're using weld underneath, CDI. And if we go here, we can curl some examples, which are actually using, yes, MO is down. I'll try to be on time, maybe 5 minutes more. It's using Micronaut underneath, and it's still able to read the data and provide it for you as microprofile, as microservices. So I'm really happy about it. So a lot of that was done to make it. So now those both worlds are totally connected. So you can use Micronaut inside of your Helidon project. So just play with it. And another thing I'm quite happy of is so much industry use now, Graphql Support. So it's done under the microprofile way of doing things. So one of the main requirements, so first of all, code first approach, then generate, make GraphQL schema available, and just very minimum way to execute it via HTTP. Let us just dive into it. So once again, I got my examples here. I will just use the regular examples. They are now available in the GitHub, so you can play with them. So I will go directly to microprofile, and there is GraphQL stuff here. So we will just play with it. We'll open a new console. I've already pre-built this. Really few code here. So it's like a regular task thing, an API to service for this query and description. So we get tags for it. We're following the microprofile way, and just few classes, and you will see how easy to use. So we could just make. I've already pre-built it. I've done my homework. Pre-built it for you, the jar, and it. And example, we'll run the example. It's starting fast. Once again, not so fast because of the streaming that I have right now, but you see just a few seconds. And then definitely take a look at the README file, because there is a special fragments that you should use. So there is a so-called Graphql JavaScript library, which visualizes all of the stuff we have. So if you don't mind, I will just click here and click .ui. Yes, so once again, there is a GraphQL, so we can use what we have here. So we got several examples here. So we got several examples. Let me just, yes, a little bit prettify. Yes, what we can do, create task. Wait a minute. Oh, yes, we have to Wait a minute, the demo gods are saying to me something. Wait a second, now we have closed everything. We have, oh yes, we have some experimental features running. We don't need them here. Let them run it again. Yes. Wait a second. Java minus jar. Examples, Microprofile GraphQL, sorry for that. A little bit stuff which is like normal. Let me run it again. Yes, we do have everything. Okay, the demo guys are not with me this day, but it was running just a few minutes ago. Let me try it in Chrome browser, by the way. Give me a second. I really want to make this happen. So it's localhost 7001/UI. Yes, it did work. Yes, it worked. Yes, there's something wrong with my Safari. So now we will create several tasks, you see. Then we will be able to find all the tasks we have. It's running, so it's GraphQL. I won't focus much on GraphQL. And then we have just to delete the task. So I'll just take one ID which was generated and delete the task. You see, we have the response, and then we find all the tasks. We have only 2 tasks. Once again, now we have all of that support running for you. It should be great. I'm always done with my presentation, so if you want to learn more about Helidon, just type in helidon.io. There's a Medium page with all article and descriptions, and now we are making a YouTube channel where we find all the demonstrations of all the new stuff happening there with cool and nice video made by our team. By the way, our colleagues from MicroStream are now making a hackathon, which you can play with. So MicroStream is a wonderful framework for persisting data in a Java way. So it's wonderful stuff, and we are partnering with them. So if you do something with MicroStream and Helidon or GraalVM, and if we like it, because I'm now part of this committee, I will choose it so you can win up to $20,000, and especially the special prizes for Helidon and GraalVM, which is $2,500. So just play with it. Play with it. Just go to Hackathon MicroStream 1 and enjoy. I'm 5 minutes late. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry it took you more of your time, but I really hope you enjoyed this presentation. And I guess this is it from my side. I hope it was useful. Thank you so much.